Welcome to our Park City Market Talk webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties here in Park City, Utah.
And my name's Dean DeLeon, a buyer's consultant on the Wilstein Team.
Thank you for joining us today, and we're going to take a look at what's happening in Park City real estate for 2020. Good news is we've made it to 2020. Can we see 2020 in the new year?
Certainly can.
And one of the ways what we can see is the Sundance Film Festival. It's going to be here starting Thursday, January 23rd through Sunday, February 2nd, and go to sundance.org for details, tickets, and just a lot of good information if you're planning to attend. What else is happening in February?
One of my favorite events of the year is the Freestyle International Ski World Cup that takes place at Deer Valley. It starts on Thursday, February 6th, and continues through Saturday, February 8th. You can go to deervalley.com/things to do activities World Cup to see the schedule and check out the certain times. I highly recommend going to the duels. That's when the mogul competitors are competing against each other, so they amp it up a little bit. So high speeds, big jumps, in the lights, a lot of fun.
If you've never gone, you definitely want to check it out for sure. All right, topics. What are we going to do today, Dean?
We're going to go over the Park City real estate market update. We've got Ron's predictions for the Park City real estate in 2020, highly anticipated predictions.
All right, I'm looking forward to it, and so let's press on. All right, let's take a look at the Park City real estate market, and as we've reported in the past, the market remains mixed, so it's important to take a closer look at it. Over the last year, there's been 1,406 sales over the past 12 months. That's homes, condos, and lots, and that's all real estate brokerages combined. And if you've been following our webinars, we haven't really hit the 1,400 mark, so this is nice to see. It represents a 10% increase year over year, or 129 more sales than the past 12 months beforehand.
That's a big number. Here we're looking at a year-to-year comparison of closed sales from January to December 2019, the gray bar representing 2018. Homes are up 6% from 518 to 549 total sales. Condos are up 26% from 588 to 741 sales.
That's huge.
Yeah, lots are down 32%, a smaller sampling from 171 to 116 total sales.
Now, when we break this down into individual categories, we're here looking at homes. We've broken up it geographically, Park City and the Snyderville Basin, and you can see a nice increase, 15%, 181 sales this past 12 months compared to 158 the year before. Lesser increase in the Snyderville Basin, just 2%, climbing from 360 to 368.
And these numbers here representing condo sales broken up between Park City and the Snyderville Basin. Park City is up 12% from 317 to 354 condo sales, and Snyderville Basin is up 43% from 271 to 387 total sales. That's a big number. That is represented by a lot of the sales in the Canyons area where they've been constructing a lot of new developments. Those are finally coming to completion and closing. So we're seeing a higher number of sales in that Snyderville Basin area because of that.
Yep. And then here we're looking at vacant land, and particularly within the city limits, there aren't many lots. There were 29 sales the previous year, 19 this past year. Just not a lot of land to buy. But we're also seeing a big decrease in the Snyderville Basin, 32% from 142 to 97. So what's going on here? When the market was slowed down in terms of homes and condos sales the previous year, greatly influenced by excessive pricing by sellers, buyers turned toward land to buy and with the intent of building later. When the prices have adjusted somewhat, became more reasonable, they grabbed those buyers, and as a result, fewer bought land. Well, let's take a look at what's happening when it comes to prices. Now here we're looking at home medium sold prices, the same two categories, down actually within the city limits by about 6% from $2,064,000 to $1,950,000. In the Snyderville Basin, it's actually up 3%, climbing from $232,500 to $1,270,000.
And here we're looking at the condo median sold prices. In Park City, down 11 from $885,000 to $784,500. I apologize. And in the Snyderville Basin, we saw an increase of 18% from $550,000 to $649,000. And again, that is attributed to a lot of the Canyons activity, new construction stuff that does sell at a higher price, which drives that up quite a bit in the Snyderville Basin.
Well, by these graphs, you can tell there's a lot of activity happening in the Snyderville Basin, very positive. There's more room for expansion, and that's what you're seeing in the marketplace. Turning to land, we observed earlier that the number of sales were down, but the prices up in both categories. In the city limits by 6%, climbing to a new median price of $1,100,000 from the previous $1,035,000, and up 8% in the Snyderville Basin, previously $493,000, now $530,000. So that's the market conditions with regard to lots. We always like to look at time on the market because it's an indicator of how buyers and sellers are coming together or not coming together. The average time it's taking for homes to sell is 116 days. Some are faster, some are take longer. But that's the pace. That's a pretty healthy pace for selling homes. This graph here shows us that there are many homes that stay on the market and remain on the market up to 285 days without selling. And of course, the main reason that is price. That's always the main reason. There's other variables, but it's pretty striking that the average time on the for homes to sell is about 3 months, and if you overprice, you could be on the market 8.5 months still without a sell. We recently published our Park City Link newsletter, our December issue. Covered a lot of topics. We talked about our transitioning market for real estate, which our stats in part showed, but some other important articles and some expansion that's occurring both among the Woodward Park City Sports Park, which we're going to talk a little bit about in predictions, and the Mayflower Mountain Resort. So if you're interested in seeing that newsletter, you can go to our website, BuyParkCity.com/Park City Link. And if you want to receive in the mail, just send us an email and we'll make sure you're on the mailing list.
And now, one of the more exciting times of the year, Ron is going to give us a glance into his magic crystal ball and make his predictions for the Park City real estate market in 2020.
I want to share my predictions for the Park City real estate market in 2020. And I'll do this by first responding to a number of questions I'm frequently asked, and then mention a wild card that is a factor outside of Park City that may influence the Park City real estate market. So let's begin with the questions. What is my overall outlook for the Park City real estate market in 2020? Well, the Park City real estate market is strong, and it has been for many years, but it's definitely going through certain changes. Demand to live in Park City is as strong as it's ever been, and that will continue in the new year. But at the same time, sellers have been trying to get very high prices for their properties, and buyers will hold firm, resisting purchasing overpriced properties. So while there's demand to live here, doesn't mean buyers will pay any price in order to do so. There is definitely a separation between those who list and those who want to sell. Listers don't need to sell their properties. They can put it on the market. If it sells, fine. If it doesn't sell, that's fine too. And in the high end of the market, the above $2 million price range, we see a lot of that. On the other hand, sellers adjust their price to the market in order to sell, so their motivation is different. What would be the hottest property types in 2020? Well, historically, single-family homes are, and they consist of either primary residences or second homes, but the statistics that we shared with you already suggest condominiums will be leading the way. And this is really, all the times I've been doing predictions, is the first time I've seen the condos take such a dominant role in the future market for the new year. There are many, many new condominium projects out there, along with new homes, but they represent a lot of the choices for today's buyers. New developments are competition for older properties and existing properties, particularly for those that have not been upgraded, and so they will have an impact on the marketplace. Related to that is, where do I see property values going in 2020? Well, homes under $2 million will continue to appreciate, probably at about 8 to 10%, which is a little bit lower actually than the last couple of years in Park City, but still well above what the nation would like to see for their own appreciation in other places. So good, strong appreciation in the Park City real estate market, certainly among those properties that have sold. We do have a segment of the population, overpriced, doesn't sell, don't get it, they don't get the appreciation. Sellers of higher price properties will have to start lowering their list prices to sell, and so I do anticipate seeing that, and we are already seeing it. Newer homes and condos will be the competition for the old properties. This is going to impact property value. New properties will continue to set new record high sold prices. Some of them are just higher than the previous years. Some are higher quality properties. We expect that will continue. Flip side of that is, older properties that have not been remodeled will need to be upgraded, or they will sell for approximately 15 to 20% lower than the new property prices. So new homes and condo sales will lead the way in 2020. Many buyers will prefer to purchase new properties. We've always seen that here. And those new properties will be competition for the older ones, and it will impact their value. Will the time it takes to sell properties change in 2020? Well, we know that correctly priced properties sell in 116 days on average or less. That I don't expect to change. That's been pretty steady throughout 2019 and even 2018. Overpriced properties will not sell. There's definitely more resistance than in previous years. And there's about maybe a 10% over the recent sale price that a property can be listed at before buyers slam on the brakes and have no interest in purchasing it. That may even be dropping some. So keep that in mind as we go into the new year. And then there's always a question, how do interest rates impact the real estate market? Are they going to go up in 2020? And I expect them to remain low. Primarily, we've got the upcoming presidential election. It's not a likely time where we're going to see hikes in interest rates. And this will be positive for real estate in Park City as well as nationwide. And do keep in mind that 50% of all sales in Park City are cash. And this is particularly true among the higher end of the range. And so financing doesn't play as much of a role in our marketplace here as it does in other places. Last question. Will Woodward Park City impact our real estate market in 2020? Now, you may or may not be familiar with Woodward Park City, but this is Park City's newest resort. It was built or expanded upon the Gargozo 2 Park there on off of I-80 and near Parley Summit and near Summit Park. Anyway, very, very interesting project, very exciting resort. Woodward Park City has an action sports park, mountain park, which is year-round, indoor and outdoor activity, still has a tubing park. It's open 365 days a year, and it is really quite exciting. We're going to show you a video in a moment so you can get a glimpse as to what goes on at that new facility. But Park City has always been a breeding ground for Olympians and athletes. We have often had the highest per capita Olympians anywhere in the world during the Olympic Games. And so we're very good between the Park City Resort, between Deer Valley, between the Utah Winter Sport Park, between Soldier Hollow, which is nearby, between the Winter School, which is a school in Park City for athletes, so they go to school during the summer and they're training during the winter. We create Olympians. That's just what we do. And I see Woodward Park City having a huge impact on it, both winter and summer sports, because, well, you'll see that it is a year-round resort. And we're going to create more athletes and Olympians, and families will come to Park City, as they always have, to train Olympians. So this will find its way to impacting our real estate market as well. Finally, I want to mention a wild card, and last year there were a number of wild cards. This year, not as many, but maybe the biggest wild card of all, and that is President Trump. Obviously, he's been impeached, and we're still seeing the battles kind of go between Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. We have no idea what impact this is really going to have on our country. We have no idea whether Trump's going to be reelected. So there's just a lot of unknowns, and I think anything that happens around that subject is going to impact everywhere in the world, and that includes Park City. So time will tell. I'm hopeful. I hope that these predictions give you some insight and direction. I'm more than happy to talk to you about this stuff, get your thoughts on it, answer any questions you may have. So don't hesitate to give me a call. Let's take a look at Woodward Park City. It's located off of Interstate 80 by Parley Summit in Summit Park. And you can see some pictures here, lots of activity. It's an indoor-outdoor park, and it's kind of a dream come true for certainly the locals and maybe for some parents, because it's kind of babysitting for the kids, but they do some fun things. Here we're looking at some pictures of the outside train park where we've got lots of activities. And what are your thoughts on this, Dean?
Well, and watching this and seeing Woodward myself, it certainly makes me wish that I was 20 to 25 years younger again, because I remember growing up in Park City, we didn't have any of this stuff, but we all of us kids still loved to BMX bike, skateboard, rollerblade, ski, build jumps, do all that stuff, but we were left to our own devices to find places to do that, where now the kids have this beautiful park to be able to attend and just experience and get better and progress at their sport. It's really impressive.
And, you know, during the summer, of course, there'll be mountain biking and the BMX and other activities on the outside. This is open 365 days a year, and it's really very impressive. When I was there for the grand opening, it's just amazing all the stuff that they do here. And I really see this as a huge draw for Park City and for athletes and for Olympians. Park City has the highest per capita for Olympians for the Winter Games historically, and this is just going to be a breeding ground for athletes, and it's really quite impressive.
Yeah, all these foam pits that you see people jumping into, that little guy there. But on the bikes, the snowboards, the skis, these kids or young adults are able to perfect their tricks or hone in their skill into the foam pits with less risk. And then they could take it to the mountain just outside and transfer what they've learned in the park in the safety of the park and foam pits onto the hillside. And it's just a much safer, very exciting. We're going to see the sport progress even more than it already has. And like you said, Ron, a lot of Olympians, because the younger generations really enjoy watching these activities in the Olympics. They are now in the Olympics and big events. It's just super exciting to watch.
If you're thinking of selling your property during the current ski season, obviously now is a time to act. Give us a call. We're happy to provide you with a free property value assessment, answer any questions that you have. With that in mind, we want to thank you for participating in our webinar. We want to wish you a happy new year, and see you on the slopes for sure.
Happy New Year.